We are members of the Birmingham Kwanzaa Committee, Clarence Muhammad and
Brother Akil Mawala.
Talk about a Kwanzaa workshop on December 6th at 6 o'clock in the Five Points West Central Park area about how to do Kwanzaa at your homes, at your places of worship, for Africans in America, I should say, that educates us about our culture and our history. And we just going to give you just a little sample or a tad bit of the educational points about Kwanzaa, but how to conduct it, you'll have to come here to learn about it.
Kwanzaa is a celebration of black people living in America, although it is celebrated throughout, diaspora. It was started in 1966 by Dr. Malani Karenga and his organization, United Slaves or US, because at the time, in the turbulent 60s, we needed something that we could embrace that said something about us, that said something about our culture and our greatness, because we were always taught, that we came from slavery, but we had to learn that we came from greatness, kings and queens, and streets paved in gold, and great dynasties in Africa. Our language, Kiswahili, which is an African language, it is based on 7 principles, the 7 basic principles of nationhood. We celebrated 7 nights between December 26th and January 1st. We also have symbols because we are symbolic people. That's basically the basics of it.
Mr. Kwanzaa.
Yes, sir.
There's one thing that most people,
here we go.
The greatest myth of Kwanzaa is this that I would like you to touch, and you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes, I do, sir.
Is Kwanzaa competition for Christmas?
I'm going to be honest about this. I'm going to say directly, no, it's not, because it starts on December 26th, the day after Christmas. So you could celebrate Christmas and do Kwanzaa. We have all types of folks that celebrate Kwanzaa. We have Christians, we have Muslims, we have 5%ers, Nuwabians, Ifa, Yoruba, Kemetic, atheists, agnostics, as long as you're black.
LGBT.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah, we do.
Everybody.
That's right, we do.
Everybody.
So, but Kwanzaa is not a religious holiday. It's a celebration of our greatness, our blackness. It's a time when we come together and we talk about the great things that we've done and we celebrate it. It also talks about the bad things we've done and try to correct it. It's a time to release conflict, get rid of conflict. If you have conflict within your family or with your friends, it's a time to resolve that. It's a time for affirmations, to affirm things that you're going to do in the new year. It's a time to talk about the things that you've accomplished in the past year. But no, it's not. But I will say, I do know folks that originally did celebrate Christmas, but because the way Christmas has become so commercialized and really gotten away from the real meaning of Christmas, people have stopped. Some people have stopped doing that and celebrate Kwanzaa. So I guess maybe it could be a competition, but you could do both.
Great. Can you educate people on why Kwanzaa is one principle in Kwanzaa is that it ain't about the money?
It's not. Kwanzaa is a community thing. It's when we come together, and it's one time when maybe we can come together and money is, the only reason we would need money is to defray some of the cost of maybe bringing drinks and snacks, refreshments. But we're not trying to get rich. We don't make money off this. Matter of fact, our budget is very low. We've been doing this, I've been doing this about 25 years, and we've never made any money. It's not about making money. It's about community. It's about having a good time. It's about showing love towards our people. So it's just about celebration. So sometimes we might ask for a donation, but it's not to get rich or make money off it. It's just to defray some of the costs, which aren't much.
All right, the next, I think, question that I would say Eurocentric people use as a throwing stone. Some Afrocentric people use as a throwing stone. Okay. And then when I ask it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. Is Kwanzaa about Maulana Karenga? But some people want to say, well, Maulana Karenga was an agent, so I'm not going to celebrate I'm not going to celebrate Kwanzaa because the originator of Kwanzaa was an agent. He was from United Slaves and us. They killed folks, blase, blase. Can you talk about the bigger picture?
The bigger picture is that whether he was an agent, whether he killed other black folks, which maybe he did or not, it's not the issue. Kwanzaa is bigger than Maulana Karenga's. So it's not Karenga's, it's ours. You know, so it's something that we can celebrate and talk, you know, learn from. You know, we talk about, we can come together for 1 7-day period. So it's not about Maulana Karenga, whether he you know, created it. I mean, he didn't do it by himself. None of us do things by ourselves. He had a whole organization that helped him, that did a lot of the research and came up with the creativity to create Kwanzaa. It's almost like saying, you know, and well, I'm not gonna bring him. I was gonna say something, but no, it's bigger than him. It's not Karenga's anymore. He just created it, or he was part of creating it. Now it belongs to all of us.
All African people.
All African people.
So why people got to find flaws in leaders who are good with leadership and creating something? Why people got to find flaws in them instead of just going with the good thing? Because there's positive and negative in all of us.
Yes, I think that's just the way we've been taught. It's the crabs in the barrel mentality. It's the Willie Lynch thing, you know, all these things. It's like we can't just enjoy something. And like, if you don't want to be down with it, we believe in Kuji Chakalir, right? Second principle of Kwanzaa, self-determination. If you ain't with it, you ain't with it. But don't tear it down for others. That's all I have to say about that.
Okay, cool. Okay, can you talk a little bit about the whole idea of first fruits?
First fruits. Kwanzaa, the word Kwanzaa means first fruits. And back when we were an agrarian people throughout Africa, we would grow our own food, and we would, you know, till the land and soil, and we would grow food, and at the end of the year we would bring in a harvest, and we'd have a big celebration, a big feast celebration. You know, that was us bringing in the food for the new year. And so that's what first fruits means. I mean, that's what Kwanzaa means. The first fruits of the new year, bringing in the new year. Most cultures have end of the year celebration to bring in the new year.
How big is Kwanzaa? How big outside of Alabama? How big?
Oh, it's huge. It's huge.
What parts of, is it in parts of America?
It's all parts of the world. I mean, all parts of America. I know it's in the Caribbean. And maybe some in South America, I don't know, or Central America. But I know they do it in the Caribbean, and I know they do it in all parts of America. I don't know if they have celebrations in Africa. They probably have something of that same sort. They might not call it Kwanzaa.
Cool. So this thing that we're doing on December the 6th at 6 o'clock. What's the address here, y'all?
4212 Avenue Q.
4212 Avenue Q is a free workshop on how to conduct Kwanzaa in your homes, in your churches, in your mosques, in your temples, in your places of worship, within your organizations. It's free.
Yeah.
It's absolutely free. It's about educating on culture, and it's about bringing families together. People see each other in Kwanzaa like conventions. They don't see each other any other time in the year. They come together in Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa's for the children. Kwanzaa's for mothers. Kwanzaa for father. Everybody gets together and they enrich and indoctrinate themselves in our culture. We learn our history. We learn it collectively together. Can you talk about the family portion of Kwanzaa? What do you see? How do you see the value of Kwanzaa with African families in America?
I think Kwanzaa and family is very important, especially with the vibe that's in our country now, in our society now, since, you know, orange man had come to office. And it's a time when you can bring family members home. And like I said, if you're having conflict in your family, this is a time to resolve it. You know, it might open you up to some ideas on how to resolve. It's just, Kwanzaa is just great. And I say for folks, if you've never done Kwanzaa, just come out to the workshop, or even when Kwanzaa starts on December 26th. I'm pretty sure we'll have a schedule. We have a schedule.
Yeah, we'll have it out next week.
But just try it. You know, so many people have heard things about Kwanzaa. You know, it's religious. That's the Muslim folks. You know, which is, it's not true. I mean, it's Muslim folks, but it's Christian folks. It's all those folks I've said before. It's black folks, and I think sometimes we get caught up in our lives, and we're accustomed being our.
You said something so important. I hate to stop you, but I got to do it for clarity.
Yes, sir.
Is Kwanzaa open to Taiwanese, Chinese, Indians, Irish, Scottish, Australians, Canadians? Could you clarify? Because somebody may want to bring out their British friend to Kwanzaa.
Kwanzaa is for black folks. We have to have something for our, and some people, even black people, might see that as racist. It's not racist. It's things we're going to talk about that we need to talk about. And sometimes when we have other folks, like if you have white friends and they bring them to Kwanzaa, you're not going to feel comfortable speaking out. Now, me, I will, because I've spoken in personal, at public Kwanzaa celebrations where there have been white folks. And I have no problem, but some folk have problems speaking around white folks and white friends. It's just the nature of our oppression, you know, living under white supremacy. So sometimes we do have children that are of mixed relations. And so they're, of course, you know, you can't tell a white mother that she can't bring her black child to Kwanzaa, so she'll be there. You know, of course, we understand that. But for most, no, Kwanzaa is for black folks. You know, nobody asks Jews, can Germans come to Hanukkah? Would you think they'll allow Germans to come to Hanukkah? Do you, Clarence?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'd like to ask y'all a question.
Yes, sir.
Most of the people, even black, who complain about Kwanzaa, do they attend? The complainers?
Most times they don't. A lot of them talk about it and have never been to a Kwanzaa celebration. It's a good question, brother. So I'm just saying, you know, at least come out and see what it's about before you put it down.
Okay, and I'm looking on the Facebook Live, somebody asked what's happening. This video was about a workshop to educate people on what Kwanzaa is about and how to conduct it in their home.
Right.
Or their churches, or their temples, or their mosques, or their organizations. And just to know about what Kwanzaa is about, to know about your culture. And this is an indigenous celebration, rites of passage for Africans that came out of America.
Yeah, and now, like in certain places, other places, they do Kwanzaa a little different than we do. But the basics is there. You know, we do the history, we do the symbol. I always do the history on the background of how it started and where it come from and the reason for it. We do the symbols, we do the principles, and we usually have a speaker or some type of celebration, some type of entertainment or edutainment or whatever. But of course, we always do a libation. Libations are very important, and libation. I've had some people be spooked out about libation, saying that's spookism. But basically, all the libation is paying homage to those who have went before us, i.e., our ancestors. We've always done that. That's Africanness. And sometimes we do certain rituals that we don't even know that are African. And I tell you, some of you older folks that might be watching, one way a libation is, back in the day when I was growing up, brothers on the corner, when they had their little Mad Dog 2020 or Boone's Farm or Irish Wild Rose or whatever, before they took a drunk, they pour a little out for those who ain't with us no more. That's a libation. That's paying homage to them. So there's nothing spooky about that.